Coming up on Fulton Today, voters get a head start on municipal elections next week thanks to early voting. We'll tell you where to go and what you need to bring to vote. And a popular NFL TV announcer and former coach joins the campaign to increase digital literacy. We'll talk to Tony Dungy one-on-one. Fulton Today is next.
From the Government Center in downtown Atlanta, you're watching Fulton Today with Shania Chavis.
Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis. Voters get to the polls early to cast their ballots for the municipal elections next week. FGTV's Tiffany Harlow has our report on things that all voters need to know. Tiffany?
County officials have been working overtime to ensure a smooth election next week. Voters have been casting their ballots since October for the November 5th municipal elections.
They ask us to check their precinct. They ask, can they vote at this location even though it's not at their precinct? They ask, does the early voting count? And we tell them every vote counts. So they ask a variety of questions.
Advanced voting sites opened across the county October 14th to make the process more convenient.
I voted early because I thought it was convenient for me and I wanted to make sure that I had a chance to vote.
Additional sites opened this week. Polls were even open last Saturday to allow citizens to share the voting experience with their children on Family Voting Day. On Election Day, voters will only be able to cast their ballots at their designated precincts. Polls will open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Remember, you must show a government-issued picture ID to vote, and you may want to check your voter registration card.
There are three reasons why you would receive a new voter registration card. If you're a new registrant, if you have changed your address, or if you were in one of the cities that went through redistricting, which would be East Point, Atlanta, Roswell, or Sandy Springs.
If you do not have proper ID, you can request a provisional ballot. If you are voting absentee by mail, you must return your ballot to Fulton County Registration and Election by 7 p.m. on Election Day. You can even get a jump on the voting process by viewing sample ballots online. If you're not sure about your voting precinct or have questions about the voting process, call Registration and Elections at 404-730-7020. All election results will be on the county website, and you can also look at all state election results on the Secretary of State website. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Tiffany Harlow.
Thank you very much. And with every election comes dozens of those campaign signs along the intersections and in residential areas. Well, county code enforcement officers want to remind campaigns about the penalties of leaving those signs up long after the election is over. Wayne Wright is the code enforcement administrator. Sir, welcome back to Fulton Today.
Hi, Shania. Thanks for having me today.
Well, first things first, let's explain to everyone the county ordinance that governs those campaign signs.
Campaign signs are allowed to be placed 90 days prior to an election. Signs must be mounted to wooden stakes or wire frames. They have to be placed in the ground. We allow those signs to be placed within 10 feet of the right-of-way. Those signs are not allowed to be placed on telephone poles or trees. We try to educate our candidates, and for those candidates who want to get information on placement of those signs, they can contact our office at 404-612-8355.
And so, Wayne, when should the campaign signs come down?
Campaign signs have to come down immediately following the election. We recognize that there's a period of candidates having to get out and remove those signs, so we're all a little liberal. We allow a week or so for candidates to remove those signs, but for all practical purposes, they must be removed following the election. We do recognize that there are some runoff elections, and for those candidates that are impacted by the runoff election, of course those signs are allowed to remain out until the runoff election has been held. But immediately following the runoff election, we encourage those signs to be removed also. And
we were talking about the penalties. Are there fines regarding these campaign signs?
There are fines associated with campaign signs, but because of the county or our office recognize that the campaign season is such a short period of time, we try to simply educate those candidates, contact the candidates. But for those candidates who are more egregious with the placement of their signs in terms of high volume, we will initiate sign cases. Fine amounts can range up to $1,000 per count per sign.
And while we're talking about signs, what about those non-campaign related signs?
Regular signs you typically see on a more day-to-day basis. Once again, those signs are called standard informational signs. During the campaign season, we allow all signs to be placed within 10 feet of the right-of-way. But during the non-campaign season, signs must be placed 20 feet out of the right-of-way. Signs cannot exceed 4 square feet, which is basically 2 by 2 in sign area.
And Wayne, what about those signs that are posted to the telephone and cable poles?
We finding that a lot of our violators are getting a little more creative in the placement of signs. They're placing them high up on telephone poles and trees. They're placing them in areas that are hard to reach and my staff can't get to. So we're very vigilant in making sign cases and finding those individuals and putting them before the judge, because of which time the judge will issue an order to have those signs removed by the violator, in addition to assessing fines of $1,000, $1,000 per count per violation.
And sir, let me get your final comments.
Sure, for those individuals who want to become a little more educated on the county sign ordinance, or candidates perhaps who are entering into elections and whatnot and would like to get information, feel free to contact my office at 404-612-8355. Once again, that's the Code Enforcement Office at 404-612-8355.
All right, Code Enforcement Administrator Wayne Wright, always great information. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you can find more information on the sign ordinance on the county's website under Planning and Community Development. To report illegally placed signs in your community, you can call the county's Tell Line. Fulton County employees get moving to give back. It's all a part of the county's 2014 Project Hope campaign. Ambassadors kicked off their annual charitable drive by getting their colleagues, including the new county manager, hyped up to give.
I think it shows that we as employees of Fulton County have a concern about the larger community, and that we give back, and that we're part of the community. And so I just think that that helps with our image and all of those things, and to show the good things that Fulton County does.
Ambassadors visit the North and South Annexes and county departments to encourage 100% employee participation to reach their goal.
This is a great way for our employees to give back to the community. Our employees are very service-minded, and many of the Project Hope charities are consistent with the work that we do as an organization.
From giving to health research organizations to nonprofits who feed the homeless, the annual campaign includes over 700 charities. FGTV's cable provider Comcast brings out an NFL great to help get more children and families connected to the internet. Former coach Tony Dungy joined Comcast officials and community leaders as they announced the expansion of the program called Internet Essentials.
We've got this problem in America. Some people can't afford to get internet service at home. We want to help them out. We've got a great program that we can get it to people for $10 a month, but we need a way to get people to hear about this. How can you help us get the word out?
14,000 families in the metro Atlanta area have enrolled in the program since it was started nearly 2 years ago.
We understand the essential nature of the internet, and there's just no more important priority for us than to make sure that everyone who lives in the Comcast footprint has a fair opportunity to sign up for the internet, regardless of the zip code where they live or the income level of their family.
Internet Essentials spokesman Tony Dungy is putting his money where his mouth is. He is donating $50,000 for a full year of Internet Essentials service for eligible families.
Belief that some young person is going to benefit, somebody who, when I was growing up and somebody helped me, I can give that same opportunity back. So we're really excited just to bless someone with the chance to succeed.
Families with children receiving free school lunches may be eligible for the low-cost home internet service. The program also gives families opportunities to purchase a computer for as little as $150. You can get more information on the program by calling 1-855-8-INTERNET or 1-855-846-8376. And still to come, citizens from across the county speak out about what services they'd like to see funded in the 2014 budget. It's a part of our district-by-district coverage next.
You're watching Fulton Today.
Taxpayers speak out during a host of public budget meetings and save the date for a conference planned for the 21st century parents. Here's this week's District by District coverage. We begin at Georgia State University, where Chairman John Eves extends a warm welcome during the International Honorary Reception. The District 1 at-large commissioner helped celebrate both International Education Month and Georgia State's centennial. All this month, the university is hosting over 60 events like this one that highlights the diverse cultures of not only their campus, but also of what the university calls its 5 emerging market task force countries. That's Turkey, South Korea, South Africa, Brazil, and China. The chairman has been instrumental in forging business relationships between the county and numerous international governments.
Georgia State University has a very, very vibrant international community, and they're kicking off their international month of activities. So because of Fulton County's involvement in the international arena, because of our standing, because of my passion and interest in internationalism, they invited me to come and bring greetings on behalf of the county.
International Education Week is a joint U.S. Department of State and U.S. Department of Education initiative to celebrate the benefits of international education and exchange. Chairman Eves has led a number of youth commissioners on international trips as a part of the county's Global Youth Initiative. District 3 Commissioner Liz Hausman hosts one in a series of budget public meetings in the county. The North Fulton representative opened up the session by explaining the serious issues that will need to be addressed during the budget process. Following her remarks at the Johns Creek Environmental Campus, finance staff members gave the fiscal outlook for 2014 for the residents in attendance.
My biggest concern is that in the discretionary spending or discretionary funded amounts, that the nonprofits and human service organizations not be forgotten.
We are facing a shortfall this year, a significant shortfall, and so it's important that we go out in the community and listen and understand what the taxpayers and the partners we have in the community feel are their priorities.
North Fulton taxpayers pay for the county's general fund services like justice, health, and libraries, just to name a few. Meanwhile, in District 4, another group of North Fulton residents expressed their views on how they want their tax dollars allocated in 2014. The citizens also heard from the busy finance team, this time at the Benson Senior Facility in Sandy Springs.
Basically, cutting items which some people may think are minor or insignificant, such as arts. The arts usually seems to be one of the first things that's cut.
According to finance, Fulton County will experience another year of declining revenues in 2014, and the revenue dictates just how much the county can pay for services. District 5 Commissioner Emma I. Darnell welcomes news that the Fulton Industrial Master Plan report has been finalized. The plan provides a recommended blueprint to revitalize the Fulton Industrial Boulevard District for the next 5 years and beyond. The plan focuses attention on the I-20 Gateway area and includes a comprehensive set of recommendations for transportation improvements, land use, economic development, and aesthetic changes.
Well, the plan is actually completed. So we're now in the stage of reviewing the plan to see where we are on the plan and who will be participating in implementation of that plan. And I'm sure that the Economic Development Initiative here in South Fulton County will be a part of that implementation team.
We realize that if we are going to be successful in the creation of jobs, which is the #1 priority in this section of the district, jobs. If we're going to be successful, it's clear that government must work with business to get this done. And the master plan that has been developed by the Boulevard CID is one of those approaches which will lead us toward that objective.
Fulton Industrial Boulevard was once the largest warehousing district east of the Mississippi River and the economic engine for the county. The master plan for the Fulton Industrial District sets forth a new vision and creates the framework to bring new public and private investment back into the area.
The goal of the plan is to provide a vision for the Fulton industrial area. The plan focuses on transportation and transit improvements, landscaping, urban design, land use and zoning, as well as economic development of the area, including branding the district and wayfinding signage to try to change the perception of the district.
The Fulton County Board of Commissioners must approve the final plan. Vice Chair Darnell wishes to include the community and stakeholders in the process. To get a full look at the master plan, visit boulevardcid.org. And finally, in District 7, save the date for the Celebrating the 21st Century Parent Conference next week. The conference on November the 9th will be held at the Georgia International Convention Center. The day-long event will feature a host of speakers and workshops on challenges parents face like social media, juvenile law, and education. New Fulton County Manager Dwight Farrell will serve as a featured speaker along with District 7 Commissioner William Bill Edwards. Both are parents.
As a parent, you can be a terrible warning to your child, or you can be a good example. The 21st century parent is about being a good example. And it's really good for this community and for this government to aid in that quest that we have good parents for our children.
Child care will be provided at the free conference. You can register now online at fultoncountyparentconference.eventbrite.com. To get more information on the conference, contact Reginald Crosley in the Office of Children and Youth. And up next, changes could be coming in the way tattoos are regulated in the county. What do you think? The story in our Common Ground report.
You're watching Fulton Today.
Portions of the following segment are part of the Fulton County Common Ground Initiative. Common Ground, the county's comprehensive solution to the problem of health disparities in the community.
Glitches notwithstanding, loads of people want to sign up for the health insurance marketplace, and Cooperative Extension Services are helping them to do just that. As an official health navigator, Cooperative Extension can help families, small businesses, and their employees find out if they're eligible to enroll in coverage, and determine whether they are eligible for financial assistance. The navigators use their expertise to help applicants through the process.
The idea is that we want everyone informed so that they can feel comfortable in going through the process. Some people are more comfortable than others using the computers. Some people don't know a lot about insurance, which makes it a little bit intimidating. So we're here to just try to level the playing field to make sure everyone understands what's happening, and then they can proceed at their comfort level, either at home, on their own home computer, or with one of our navigators and one of our computers in the office.
Contact Fulton County Cooperative Extension Services by calling 404-332-2400 if you need assistance enrolling in the health insurance marketplace. The web address is ugaextension.com/Fulton. According to health educators, the more younger children learn about healthy eating, the less they may actually need insurance.
That's right. If you eat your vegetables, you get really, really strong, right?
And that was the lesson for these 3 to 6-year-olds at the College Park Library. They learned why it's better to drink juice rather than soda and water rather than juice. Healthy eating, educators say, has tremendous benefits.
When we eat healthier, we tend to feel better. Of course, we age a bit more gracefully, but we also get the important vitamins and nutrients that our bodies so desperately need. Also, we're able to fend off disease a lot easier. We're more energetic, we can exercise, we think a lot clearer.
Now, pardon the pun, but the youngsters devoured the lessons and shared what they learned.
Do not eat junk food. Eat healthy foods all the time so you won't get sick. We learned about how to eat healthy and how to be strong. And we learned a new word.
What's the new word that you learned?
Catalysis. Antioxidant.
Okay, she'll get it with a little practice. The workshop was held in recognition of National School Lunch Week. To have a Fulton County public health educator address your students, call the Office of Community Education at 404-613-4230. Regulations governing body art are now in the works in Fulton County. And Environmental Health Services is seeking input. In tattooing, pigment is inserted into the skin with a needle for decorative purposes. Body piercing is puncturing the skin to insert jewelry or other adornments, and state law requires that these practices be permitted. Kevin Jones is the Deputy Director of Environmental Health Services. Sir, welcome back to Fulton today.
I'm delighted to be here again, Shania.
Well, Kevin, tell us how many body art establishments are in the county now as opposed to like a year ago?
We took an inventory a couple of years ago and we discovered there were about 72 tattoo parlors or body art facilities in the county. Now, my best guesstimate that there's probably about 80 to 100 facilities located within Fulton County.
And what are some of the sanitation issues that these new rules would address?
First, we want the facility to be clean. Second, we want all utensils that are going to be used by the body artist to also be cleaned and sterilized. The third thing that we'll be looking for is the proper disposal of the waste.
And what about some of the general rules and regulations?
First, each facility needs to be permitted. So each facility will have a permit that they will have to renew on an annual basis. Second thing, each body artist will also need to be permitted or licensed. That's going to require a health certificate from their physician and also an examination that will be given by the county that they will have to pass with at least a 70% before we will allow them to operate.
And Kevin, talk to us now about some of the health problems that could result from unsanitary body art establishments.
Unsanitary body art studios can cause health problems such as hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV, and also scarring.
And finally, what's the timetable here?
Well, first we want to present the regs on the county website where people can review and make comments and send it to our environmental health email address. Second thing I want to do is bring some of the body artists into the health department so they can actually take a look at the regulations and review it and provide comments. The third thing I would like to do is present it to the Board of Commissioners sometime in December with a January 1st, 2014 implementation date.
All right, Kevin Jones with Environmental Health Services, always great information. Thank you so much for your time.
And thanks again for having me, Shania.
And you can email comments on the drafting of body art regulations to Environmental Health Services at fultoncountyga.gov. You can also fax them. And still to come, another important milestone is cleared in the construction of a new North Fulton library. We'll have all the details when we come back.
Watching Fulton Today.
As registration for basketball season wraps up this week at county parks, there is still a need for a few volunteer basketball coaches. Boys and girls ages 3 to 17 will soon tip off on one of Fulton's basketball teams. Parents and guardians began registering their athletes in September to play this season. Though registration has gone well for players, Parks and Recreation managers say they still need a few good men or women to lead the teams to victory.
We're actively seeking coaches, volunteer coaches. We treat it like a family approach. All coaches work together. We offer coaches the opportunity to experience clinics. We offer the kids opportunities to experience clinics. It's just a family type atmosphere.
Now, while you don't have to have a great deal of coaching experience to serve as one, you do have to have a heart to help children and a lot of patience. If you're interested, call the department's main office at 404-612-3753. And finally, one of the new libraries under construction in North Fulton now has an official name. The Atlanta Fulton Public Library System confirms that the new branch on Holcomb Bridge Road will be called the East Roswell Library. Officials broke ground on the branch in September. Several community meetings were held to allow residents the chance to express their views on the name and services, and more input is welcomed during the construction phase.
We now have the design posted on our library website, so they can check our website and they can see the drawings. And of course, we're always eager to come out and do a presentation to a community group.
To schedule a community group meeting about the new East Roswell Library branch, contact the director's office at 404-730-1972. This branch will have an amazing children's room along with community meeting spaces. The branch will also have a vending area that will feel like a cafe. Grand opening is tentatively scheduled for the third quarter of next year. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to hear from you about the stories and programs right here on FGTV. Go to our website to take a survey or email or call us. The number 404-612-8317. The email address is fgtv.feedback@fultoncountyga.gov. You can also follow us on twitter.com/FGTV, friend us on Facebook, and watch us on YouTube. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis. Thank you for joining us. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.